Hi, this is Dan Gimple, and everything's good to go, so let's go flying.
Camarillo is a great show because you're up front. You get to see everything. You saw that terrific high-speed pass by the Goodyear blimp.
Our flag was still there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an air show.
It's another year and another air show's about to begin, and we've got to depart before they close the airport. Yes, we're going to miss Wings over Camarillo, but we're on our way to Idaho to see the far cooler, once-in-a-lifetime Great American Eclipse. Planning for this eclipse flight was a lot more complicated than usual. The goal, of course, was to somehow be at a suitable airport in the total eclipse at the right time on Monday, August 21st. And on top of that, Camarillo Airport was hosting an air show the weekend of the 20th, which meant that the airport would close to normal operations during the show, so that meant we had to leave there no later than 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. And there would be crowds to reckon with. Everybody wanted to go see the eclipse. As for pilots, this was the ideal mission for small planes that we've all been waiting for. Far, far better than any $100 burger flight, for sure. Now, the path of totality made a giant arc about 70 miles wide that crossed the entire U.S., and there was a decent number of airports to choose from within the path. It seemed that half the private pilots in the West all decided that Madras, Oregon was the place to be. Madras promised reliable weather, spectacular views, available rooms in reasonable distance. Lots of pilots planned far ahead, and the Madras airport looked to get so overwhelmed that they had to take reservations, and it was soon booked up full. Yours truly did not plan far ahead, and found out too late that Madras was full. But no matter, there must be lots of other choices, right? As luck would have it, the eclipse path arced within 800 miles of Camarillo, so distance-wise, it made little difference whether we ended up in Oregon, Idaho, or Wyoming. But an awful lot of getting there meant long distances over a remote country. Though the Cardinal has the range, 800 miles nonstop is pushing it for those on board. That in mind, and weighing all the options, tiny St. Anthony, Idaho started to make sense. Salt Lake City was sort of on the way and would be a great place to stay Sunday night, and it wouldn't be a strain to get to St. Anthony with an hour to spare before the eclipse. So, St. Anthony it was via Salt Lake. But you can't go straight from Camarillo to Salt Lake either because the giant Fort Irwin and humongous Area 51 restricted zones are in the way. So we dogleg via Barstow, then over Las Vegas and land in Cedar City, Utah for food and gas. Then onward to Salt Lake, West Jordan actually, and stayed the night there. Then the next morning we're wheels up by 9 to be in St. Anthony about 10:30, an hour ahead of the big show. 90 minutes along and not far from the Nevada border, we see the blinding lights of the Ivanpah solar plants, where fields of mirrors blast desert sun at collection towers. Southwest of Las Vegas, we've climbed to near 12,000 feet, so we'd be above and clear of the region's complicated airspace and its heavy airline traffic. From high above, we see the casinos of the Strip nearby, set in a giant metropolis that's itself surrounded all around by a vast desert. Off to the southeast, there's Lake Mead, and then Utah and Arizona's on the far horizon. Las Vegas is 40 minutes behind us, and we're well into Utah. The land has changed. It's higher, greener, and there's lots more colorful sandstone. The Red Cliffs of Zion are to the south. We'll be landing in Cedar City in just a few minutes. On the ground and taking a break, we ate lunch, fueled up, and took a moment to admire the fair weather clouds. Wandered around a bit and was surprised to find a rather exotic Honda jet. Yes, it's the same Honda as the cars. It's very pretty and also very unusual, especially how the engines are mounted on the wings instead of the fuselage. We're airborne again and northeast bound over a remote stretch of southwest Utah. August is monsoon season, and though dark clouds build over the mountains, our route to Salt Lake appears to be clear, though a bit bumpy. We're roughly following the I-15 and passing towns named Parowan and Minersville. The city of Provo comes into view, and that means Salt Lake is not far off. 5:30 Mountain Time and we've arrived. Only 18 hours until the eclipse. We must leave early tomorrow, so we gas up and prep the Cardinal tonight so we're good and ready in the morning. Next morning, and we're off to a good start. There's a few clouds on the horizon, but I'm expecting clear skies at our destination. It's a 90-minute flight to St. Anthony, and we hope to arrive with an hour to spare. I'm excited. I've never flown into Idaho before, let alone seen a total eclipse. I'm prepared, but there's many unknowns ahead. Now, the total eclipse lasts about 2 minutes, but there's a partial eclipse going on for a few hours before and after. On the way to Idaho, the sun's already dimming slowly, but you can hardly tell. Up until a minute or two before totality, it just seemed like a normal, though slightly mild, August day.
St. Anthony traffic, Cardinal 220, turning face, left traffic 22, St. Anthony. St. Anthony 220, turning final.
We are here, and we've made good time.
St. Anthony traffic, Cardinal 220, back taxiing on the runway, on the active.
There's a nice long runway, but no parallel taxiway, so we make a 180 and take the runway back to the hangars. Now we just need to figure out where to tie down and set up. 20 minutes to go, and that plane's taking off to see the eclipse from the air. I'd love to know what that's like, but I think I'll have a richer experience here on the ground. T-minus 8 minutes and things are still pretty normal. I'm surprised to see spectators outside the airport fence, as if for an air show. Well, it's a show all right, though I can't say the airport fence is that much closer to it.
It's kind of like a moonscape, isn't it? It's starting to get gray.
Yeah, now the light is definitely weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even dark like a winter day.
But you still have shadows.
Only a few moments left until totality. Changes very fast now. It's now so dark that the runway lights switch on. It's a very strange kind of twilight with no dusky sunset to go with it.
Wow. The sky, oh man, the sky is kind of cool.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
We're almost ready to have it full. Ready to get your camera on there. My lights are on. Okay, we're ready to work.
Holy cow!
Oh, that is...
Oh, man.
Wow.
The eclipse is absolutely awesome, but things I've read about, birds going silent, a quick gust of wind, or sudden drop in the temperature, none of that happened here. I've also heard that the stars will come out, but I don't see any just yet. It never got completely dark. At its darkest, it did seem very much like about 8:30 on a summer evening. Oh, there's the star. Actually, I think that's Venus. You can see Venus out.
Yeah, good call.
The moon's shadow is 70 to 170 miles wide, and it races across the Earth at 2,000 miles per hour. The longest this total eclipse lasts at any one spot is 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's when it gets to Illinois. Here, it's a few seconds shorter. Either way, it all happens so fast, but it's not over yet.
You see the colors?
Oh, man. That's unbelievable.
Camera's off.
Look at how quickly the light's coming back. During a total eclipse, the sky darkens by a factor of 1 million. But the sun is so bright that even when 99% of it is covered, the 1% left is enough to keep the sky blue. Oh man, it looks like a spotlight instead of the sun.
Yeah, isn't it? It's the colors. It's completely different.
And the color's all wrong too.
Yeah.
It's not yellow, it's like something else entirely.
White. It's like a pure white almost.
It's like a halogen light white. It's not the same color as when it went in. All right, nothing happened with the wind, nothing happened with the birds. The building lights are turning off. And just like that, totality is over. Mission accomplished. We went into town for lunch and then back to the airport for the return flight to Utah. Southbound in Idaho, we're flying over the Snake River. Grand Teton National Park is only 50 miles east, but I can't make out its famous mountains from here. Let's put those down for another trip. We're back in Utah now. Much of the region's population lives in this stretch near the Great Salt Lake. Later, I was told that much of that same population headed to Idaho for the eclipse, and the resulting traffic jams on the I-15 were legendary. They say that 11 million people live in the arc of totality, and 76 million more live within a day's drive, so this was probably the most viewed eclipse of all time. I guess I should not have been surprised that even the small, normally quiet town of St. Anthony was hopping while we were there.
For 45 down, wind runway 34, South Valley.
South Valley, Cardinal 220, turning short, final 34.
We overnight again in West Jordan and take off for home the next morning.
South Valley traffic, Cardinal 220 is taking the active, departing 16 straight out, South Valley.
The return flight follows the same route as our outbound flight. It's true, we're seeing pretty much the same land as we saw 2 days ago, and with the anticipation, uncertainty, and the eclipse all behind us, this day's flight is almost routine. Still, any day flying is better than, well, you know. Now that I've flown to one total eclipse, will I fly to see one again? In a heartbeat. But with reservations, that is, if the eclipse is the right kind and is within practical flying distance. There are 2 more eclipses coming to the U.S. in the near future, in 2023 and 2024. The solar eclipse of 2023 crosses the U.S. from Oregon to Texas, so it's close enough, but it's an annular eclipse, meaning that the moon is too far away to completely cover the sun. Call me spoiled, but I don't think I'd go too far out of my way for that one. But the one on April 8th, 2024 is a total eclipse. This one sweeps across North America from Mazatlan to central Texas and eventually to eastern Canada. I'll fly to Texas, that's 2 days away from me. Offhand, my best bet may be some airport between San Antonio and Dallas. I think I've got some planning to do, and some alternative planning as well. So, what's springtime like in the Lone Star State? Hopefully sunny with a good chance of afternoon moon shadow.